let's talk more about story today. And what I want you to understand is life is infinitely complex. And in order for us to function, what we have to do is we have to, in a sense, make a map of life in our head that reduces the complexity for us. The map is never as complex as the terrain, right? Does that make sense to you? And so what we all do, every single one of us, is we model our life. If I say, think of your mother, that's a model that just showed up. So if you've modeled your mom. If I say, think of your dad, think of your kids, think of your spouse, think of where you work. If I say Republicans, if I say Democrats, if I say, think of your favorite sports team, think of your arch nemesis sports team. Okay, all of these examples are models that we've made of people and circumstances and dimensions of our lives. And most of the time when we're thinking about all of that, we take the thoughts about the thing to be the thing. So we're constantly making the mistake and thinking that the model is life. That can keep us stuck. And so the primary model that this class is wanting to wake us all up to, the primary model, is the story of me. And here's how we construct that story. So we can't pay attention to everything, and so we have habits of paying attention to things that we like and things that we don't like, and pretty much leave out the neutral stuff. We'll develop a habit of completely deleting people, places, and things out of our lives because we modeled those things to be insignificant. And it's possible that there are people, places, and things, information out there that you might be habitually deleting that might actually serve your healing. So being more mindful even of the neutral stuff, feelings, and think circle of three again. When you come into contact with a person that is not attractive to you, watch your reaction. Watch how you can just let that person go. And there might be an interaction that could be enriching, that could change the course of your life even, if you were open to it. All right, so that's deletion. Construction is the absolute opposite. Construction is like seeing something that's there that's actually not there. I have a funny slide to show you on construction, but like white lies are construction, and sometimes we start to believe our white lies. We're constructing a reality that's not really there. Distortion is a huge amplification of a situation. Gross emotions are distortions. Depression is a distortion of a mind-body feeling state. Anxiety is a distortion of a mind-body feeling state. So think you get fixated, you start to do a negatively charged constructive meditation, and boy, you got something there. And so the lighter side of distortion is creativity. Making something that wasn't there before, dreaming something up, putting parts together in a new way. But again, it goes both ways. And then lastly is generalization. Generalization is super helpful when you're learning something. Let's say I learned to drive a car, and once I learn how to drive a car, I can generalize. I can go rent a car and drive a different car. I can drive on different road conditions and things like that. Do you see? We generalize all the time. We make a life out of our habits, and if we didn't have habits, we couldn't actually make it through a day. Everything would be like learning everything fresh, and it'd be way too much. The dark side of generalization is racism, painting circumstances with a broad brush. You see that? So mental models. The reason I'm talking about mental models is we do this. The story of me is that, and I want to bring more and more awareness to this process inside of us. Okay, so now check this out. This is a fun little slide. She's everywhere. Now, if you're Catholic, I don't want to offend you in any way, okay? Take this lightly. But you've probably heard, and even if you're not Catholic, you've probably heard that people see the Virgin Mary practically everywhere. Okay, and so these are, all you have to do is Google Virgin Mary. Now, this is construction, people. So watch this. That lady right there, that's a piece of toast, okay? And that lady got, I think, $24,000 selling that piece of toast with the Virgin Mary on eBay. It'll never happen again, right? You only get to do that once. And that doesn't look like the Virgin Mary too much to me. It more looks like Marilyn Monroe, but whatever. So this is more the iconic Virgin Mary figure. Now watch this. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go like this. So just notice that when people see the Virgin Mary, it's this, okay? Now that's a guy taking a picture of his right knee, and he scraped his right knee, and there she is. Little turtle Virgin Mary. Now this one's kind of hard to see. There's the magnification of it right there. There's a water stain on top of a faucet, and the Virgin Mary, it looks like she's holding the baby, Jesus. You see that? Like that? Okay, I like that one. This is a piece of chocolate, a melted piece of chocolate. A potato chip, you really got to use that. To me, that's not so much construction as it is distortion. Like, are you kidding me? Now this is my favorite. I don't even know how that happened, but I love that. That is my total favorite. And now this one, you guys, has anybody seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail? The Knights Who Say Ni, right? That is one of the knights. That's John Cleese, right? That does not look like the Virgin Mary at all. Or that's death, right? But Google Virgin Mary and you will find that tree stump there. Again, this is a lot of imagination. The Virgin Mary in Venetian blinds. This was a bridge in Chicago. And this is the most amazing one. Check this out. So an ultrasound where, do you see here? Here's her face, here's her nose, and this is the sort of the nun's, whatever that's called, right? And here's the baby right here. You see that?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's construction. We all do it. Okay, I just want you to know. Modeling everything. Okay, so now, this begs the question, right? So what is true? What I want to do is I want to help you understand when you're having difficulty parsing out, like, what's my part in this? Okay, don't we all want to know that sometimes? Like, what am I adding to this situation? Okay, you can go back to what we'll call true arisings. Now, a true arising is something that shows up in your consciousness that you didn't ask for. On a meditation cushion, have you noticed that sometimes you're sitting there and thoughts just show up, like talk shows up, but you're not doing it. It's just showing up. That's spontaneous talk. That's a true arising, okay? It's there in your consciousness. It's totally there. The same for spontaneous image. You're not driving the bus. The brain is thinking thoughts, okay? Brain is having thoughts. Touch sensations when they show up. It's true. In the moment that you get an itch, it's there. Now, how you feel about the itch, that's going the very next step. Feel sensations when they're there. The bare essence of them. Sights and sounds. So now you have a methodology to sort of parse out what is a true arising. Now, mostly we model things, right? That's the add-ons. Now the add-ons are going to be what we like, what we dislike, our beliefs, our customs, what our culture has taught us about this certain situation, what our habits are. All of that is going to come. Now, if you want to see the difference between the true arising and the add-ons, here's how to do it. So the first order property is, let me just pull off my wedding ring. Okay, so the first order property is just what it is. Okay, so metal ring, right? With nothing else added, just metal ring. Now, if I go farther and I say it symbolizes love and commitment and all of that other stuff, and if I lost this and I was pained because I lost it, I'd be hanging on to the second order properties, all the meaning. Do you see? Because if you just lost metal ring, who cares? Do you get it? Okay, and so let me tell you a story. So I'm at this meditation retreat, and this is one of those hardcore retreats where you don't get to talk to each other. And it was in Barre, Massachusetts, in the wintertime, very cold, snowing outside. The beds at this, it was in an old Catholic, what do you call that, a rectory, or monastery. Well, if it was where priests go to learn how to become priests, whatever that's called. So that's it was converted now, and Insight Meditation Society converted it. They do all of their meditation retreats there. Beautiful facility, and the beds there are amazing. European comforter, like the big, thick feather comforters. And so put yourself in my place. It's cold as ice on the outside of the comforter, but on the inside of the comforter, it is warm and cozy and snuggly and oh, so nice. And it's about 5:15 in the morning when I hear this. Gong. It's the 6th day of the retreat, and as soon as I hear that gong, I am in a dead sleep. And so it's just sound, but my reaction to the sound was I was like, and as soon as I had this visceral to the sound, there was awareness there because I'd been meditating for 6 days, 12 to 18 hours a day. I mean, mindful. And so it was there the moment I reacted viscerally to the sound. And the mindfulness was wondering, whoa, that's quite a reaction to sound. And then in the very next mind moment, there was a little voice that came out of my nervous system, and it wasn't me. The little voice, very whiny, said, "But you're tired." It was talking to me in the second person. right? It's talking to the awareness. Like there was two of me there. There was this awareness that's just checking it out, and there's this other part that's like, I don't want to go there. And so the awareness, like the adult in the room, the awareness is like, okay, if you're tired, what does tired feel like? And so I went into my body and I felt all the touch sensations and feel sensations. And there were a whole bunch of sensations. There was all kinds of sensations that I could name, but none of them separate the sensations from the little whiny voice. None of them were tired, which was so weird. And so I went from, and all this happened that fast. And I went from reacting viscerally, I am not getting out of this bed, to covers off, and I'm like went to the shower. So that's how mindfulness can change you in the moment. Now, I will tell you, that's not how I show up most of the time. Okay? It's when you really go on a meditation retreat for a long time and you power up your mindfulness, that's the potential. Okay, so I share that with you because if you guys start practicing, you can have moments like that for yourself, and gaining an insight like that is better than a couple of years of psychotherapy, I got to tell you. It really does stick with you. This meditation retreat happened in January of 2005, okay? And so 11 years ago, and it was just this fast, and I remember it just like it was yesterday. So, okay. So now, mindfulness, what is this thing that we're doing? We're taking real-world experiences that are happening right now, and the feedback that's showing up is going to be the feedback that shows up. The whiny voice is going to be there in relation to the sound, right? But the mindfulness adds a bigger scope. It's a different aspect. You're modeling something new. This is called double loop learning, where there's, like I said, it seems like there's two of you in there. One is the old habit, and one is this awake aspect that is monitoring and modifying, and that's where the change comes from. Good? Does that make sense to all you guys? Okay, fantastic.